Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Swamp Creatures Podcast. Tonight we have Angela McArdle on as our guest. But before we start, we're going to go into the usual tradition around the room of what are we drinking, gentlemen?
So who are we starting with, me, or we'll start with the guest? Or...
We'll start with you up top, Mitch. My OCD's kicking tonight.
I'm just continuing the red wine from Frankenmuth, Michigan, Red House.
Awesome. Rich, what are you drinking on?
I'm working on my second bottle of Kraken.
Excellent. I got the Yingling tonight, and then I like to always have our guest last. Andrew, what are you drinking with us tonight?
That's going to be Vitamin Water Zero. Womp womp.
Make zero of that?
The vitamin water is tasty.
I don't know. I gotta say, I love how they put zero after the name because that just sounds cool.
Well, this one doesn't have sugar in it, sweetened with stevia. So basically, it's the only thing I can stand that isn't disgusting. I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I'd like to get into things tonight. So, Angela, for those of us out there who don't know who you are, outside of the three of us, tell us more about yourself. What got you into the Liberty Movement, the LP? What brought you to where you're at today?
So, okay, how did I get involved in the Libertarian Party?
Oh, yeah, we can go there.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's one of those ubiquitous things. Like, I became a libertarian sort of slowly over like many years. I started identifying as a libertarian when I was about 17, but I didn't really know what that meant until besides like Republicans who are okay with gays and weed, and which was, I think, more like what I was, if you could be a Republican as a teenager. And then I read G. Edward Griffin's The Creature from Jekyll Island some number of years later, and that completely imploded my worldview and turned me into a paranoid conspiracy theorist. And that was, and I still am. And then I heard about Ron Paul, and then I realized that everyone else was a freaked out paranoid conspiracy theorist too. So I'm not the only one who's terrified of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, all the good ones are.
Right? It's the litmus test. Like, you freaked out by the Fed? You want to end the Fed? Okay, then we're cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
So I got involved in the local LP. I don't exactly remember how, but I was connected to them through cannabis legalization activists in like 2014, okay. I think. So I went to like a random social meetup, and then I didn't make it back for a couple years because I was busy. And then I just got very involved in the party in 2016. I was attending meetings every month, more like socially, and to get to know people and kind of see, like, is the Libertarian Party, is it libertarian? And someone asked me to run for office. And so I ran. I said, no, I'm an anarchist. I don't really do that. And he kept badgering me. And finally I was like, all right, I'll run. So I ran for Congress in a special election in 2017. And that's about the time that I got really active within the party. So that is my libertarian origin story.
Very nice. So, as many people may already be aware, you are fairly active with the Mises Caucus as well. Is that correct?
That is correct. Very much.
Now, what brought you? Now, we've all been fairly active ourselves. So, what brought you? What drew you to the caucus? What was the sell for you on that?
Austrian economics. That was just straight up. As soon as I was, in the caucus in those probably first couple of weeks that it joined, and I was just like, someone else is upset about the Federal Reserve. Someone else is upset about central banking and money and wants to talk about Austrian economics. I'm in. I'm sold. Because I live in California, and people in red states, I mean, sure, like Republicans voted up trillions of dollars in debt too, but in blue states, economic illiteracy is just like crushing us. So that is really important to me.
Well, that's awesome.
It's funny. I'm personally a gun guy, and guns isn't even a big like central issue for Mises. But hearing the plank and like, you know, starting to learn Austrian economics, I'm originally from Jersey. So same thing. It's, you know, absolutely economic illiterate up there. But it's funny how, you know, you start learning this stuff and you're like, holy shit, how was I so blind to this like all my life?
Yep. I mean, it's just because people don't talk about it. And even my parents, who are conservative, they care about fiscal policy, but they don't understand what it means to care about fiscal policy. They haven't been, you know, like they're like red pilled, but they're not educated on it enough. And so I really want to
Right.
see the Libertarian Party start to talk about Austrian economics. A lot of people say they already do that. I disagree. Hard disagree. We need to bring that to the forefront of the conversation.
No, you know,
Awesome.
and just to add to that, I feel like we hear it because we're, you know, we talk to a bunch of libertarians and it kind of turns into an echo chamber. But last year, you know, you told me Austrian economics, no clue what Austrian, what's that? Like, you know, people outside of the LP and outside of these circles, they don't hear it because
Right.
the Libertarian Party is not messaging that.
Right.
Definitely agree with you. Very important.
And it's a funny segue into that because it needs to change. And one of the ways we're going to change that is I know that there's someone looking to run for LNC chair, and I believe that person is you. Now, tell us more about that, Angela. What made you want to run for chair, and what are you looking to do if you get elected as LNC chair?
I just want to be emotionally abused by other libertarians, and this is the job. This is if you feel it, I'm just kidding.
Are you on California ZC yet? You are, right?
Oh, me? Yeah. Yeah, I have
okay.
been. I have been since 2017, I think.
She wants to
Or
be
28
you're a real masochist.
2018? Yeah. Yeah, I so my first job on the California XCOM was to be state party secretary. It's the largest state in the country, so it is no joke. It is at least 20 hours of work per week. It is a hardcore, full-on part-time job, very heavy with data entry, data analytics, spreadsheets, using Excel. You know, it's not a creative job. So I have done everything in the party except be treasurer, but I have had to learn, you know, California has its own treasury stuff. I ran 2 congressional campaigns, so I've had to deal certainly with filings and paperwork and receiving donations and that sort of thing. So that's all helpful. You know, that's definitely helpful for being chair of the national party. And I'm currently on the executive committee in California. I'm on a handful of committees now. I think I served on 7 committees when I was the secretary. That was a terrible decision. No one should ever serve on 7 committees. You should never do that while you're secretary. Horrible, horrible. So learn from my mistakes. But the reason I really want to do this is, well, you know, I think everyone knows that I was inspired to do this because of the National Party's failure to rebuke the lockdowns. That was the most important critical thing. But when you look at the direction of the party in general, like, it's a disaster. It's not going anywhere. It's chasing mainstream culture, and it makes no progress when it does that. No one is inspired to join the party when we pander to mainstream, like, woke culture. It just doesn't happen. So we need people who are going to be willing to run the party who also have enough self-esteem as a libertarian, because the party has no self-esteem. It's like the people who run the party are embarrassed to be libertarians or to tell anybody about libertarianism. And we've got to change that. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah, that's something I picked up on before I even joined up with the party as well. It's almost like this you're not proud of your own ideas, as though it's something to kind of be like hushed up and kind of tucked away.
Absolutely.
It also, it's just, it seems like it just, and you know, I can even say I've seen this, you know, in a lot of places here, is that there's a certain risk aversion in the party that everybody's so scared to, you know, reach for the brass ring because they might get their hand slapped.
Yeah.
And, you know, you see it in places right now, like New Hampshire, for instance, where they're, you know, they're taking bold risks and they're getting bold rewards sometimes.
They are. And I get that people, not everyone, but some people are turned off by their messaging. They think it's too abrasive. But if you go look at the progress that New Hampshire's made, like look at what they've done in their state. Their last newsletter put out some incredible metrics. Like they've grown their party by like, I don't know, it's like 187% or something. It's not just social media.
Triple.
Yeah, it's not just social media follows, because I know people who follow things don't always like you, but membership has grown like dramatically. So the proof is in the pudding, you know, like talks about censuring them or disaffiliating them, all that. Hard disagree. And even just from a utilitarian perspective, like there's no good reason to do it. They're doing well. We should take a lesson from them. We don't have to be just like them, but we should take a lesson from them to at least be bolder in our messaging and to, you know, have some confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. We were talking about that. I want to say a handful of episodes ago that, you know, like people not stepping up and, you know, like libertarians not being involved within the Libertarian Party. But just today we were talking about New Hampshire elsewhere in our Discord, because somebody brought that up. They said that if Republicans wanted to sabotage, that's what I keep hearing. If Republicans want to sabotage the LP, you know, this is what they would be doing from New Hampshire. And my reply to that was, if Republicans were trying to sabotage the LP, they're doing a horrible job at it, because, you know, and I posted that article that you actually mentioned.
Yeah.
We'll link it in the comments. But I posted that article you mentioned because it shows all the metrics and all the growth that's happening in New Hampshire right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't get angry at results. I don't, you know, it's something I've never gotten. Why are people,
I mean,
if you don't like it, scroll past it.
if I could real quickly, and this is me just coming in as someone who was very skeptical of some of the people in New Hampshire with their messaging at first, even as someone who still thinks we need to be bold as fuck. Excuse my French. But honestly, to see those results at that point, I'm like, okay, you're doing something right. I'll admit it. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
I
was a little like kind of biting my nails in the beginning too. Like I was like, oh geez, I don't know. Is this going to work out? And it did, you know. That's another thing that the party needs, is we need to be able to, and I feel this is something that the Mises Caucus has been good at, is taking criticism from small L libertarians who are not in the party. And they're like, here's why I'm not in the party. And they give this long list of reasons. And we're like, you know what? You're right. Let me think about that and see if I can kind of change that or turn that around. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. And I feel like we should be able to take inside the party, we should be able to take some feedback on what happened in New Hampshire and say, hey, you know, maybe I wouldn't have posted it, but I don't think we should be tossing them out because they're doing a damn good job.
Absolutely. That's essentially what I said. You know, an official state Twitter account, you know, do I think that they should be posting that stuff? You know, that's my personal style. Like on my personal Twitter, you know, I post some pretty wild shit. And I've been booted a few times. But you know, would I post that from an official state party account? Probably not. And you know, once I started seeing the results, I was like, well, shit, I got to eat my words. I got to realize I don't know what I'm talking about. And I think that's a big problem within the party as a whole. You know, the old guard, so to speak, the people that have been around for a while that have been doing the same things, they don't want to admit when, you know, their style wasn't necessarily working.
Correct.
If I could real quickly too, I feel like they're kind of out of touch, because the more I think about this, the more I think about, like, there's a bunch of corporate Twitter accounts, like just corporate brands that are just as like edgy. Like just think of the Wendy's Twitter. We all know about that.
Wendy's, like, Steakum. Steakum is another really good
savage.
One.
They're all
Steakum's
savage.
Great.
There's
Sunny Delight. Sunny Delight is actually pretty good.
Really?
They have to be, right? Because they're selling an absolutely trash product. So they've got to have like the best marketing out there. And they
they can't go lower than DiGiorno's. Like, if you know,
I feel like if your car was like overheating, or like if your engine block is frozen, if you dump Sunny Delight, you know, just kind of anywhere, it'll probably work. It's like industrial waste, I think. You can get it. It glows.
My whole childhood has been crushed in one
I know.
sentence.
By that same token, no offense, Sunny Delight, we'd love to have you at the California Convention, February 18th through 20th. If you would like to be a sponsor, we would love to have you, and we will push your product because we believe that people have a right to decide what they go put in their bodies, even if it's trash.
Freedom.
I love it. Shameless
it.
pitch. Shameless pitch.
Straight into the sale. I love it.
Yep. We should tweet this at them.
Hey, so I just put up a comment over here from one of our loyal listeners, Joey Ferguson. Shout out to Joey, by the way. He's always on the show listening to us. He wants to know how fast you would turn over the keys to Twitter to Michael Malice.
Okay, so the honest question is that I'm not sure how rapidly I can do it, and I'm actively working on finding out how fast I can. Ideally, it would be within 24 hours. So I am
Okay.
trying to figure that out according to the operating procedures manual, the bylaws, special meeting. Like, how can I don't know, but I am working on that for you.
Well, we appreciate it wholly and highly.
Yeah. And I have had a conversation with him about it too. So this is not pie in the sky. Future chair of the party has had a conversation with future press secretary.
So I know he said that he would be press secretary for Dave Smith if Dave Smith were to get elected for 1 Bitcoin a month. Well, what's his price to be our Twitter person?
I don't know yet. I'm going to have to negotiate that as well. But
Okay.
I am working on it.
All right.
0.000005 Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's a little more realistic.
I got 100 Dogecoin for him.
I would do that. I could pay him in Doge. I could not pay him in Doge. Don't say that. He'll probably block you. Just let's let that go.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the Doge type.
No, not a Doge type.
That'd actually be pretty funny if Michael Malice blocked me. I'd laugh.
I don't know. That might be tragic. Can I do something
might
just
be.
totally in bad form and step out of the room to let my guest into the house who locked herself out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
As far as Malice, though, and the Twitter, like, I gotta say, it's amazing how this started off as somewhat of a meme, and now it's something serious. Like, we're actually
Yeah.
here having a conversation about this being a possibility.
Dude, all I'm
Because-
saying is if Michael Malice takes over the LPF or the LP Twitter account, LP National, I don't see how that's not a net benefit. I don't see how everybody isn't talking about libertarians. I mean, not even a year, like within the matter
Frankly,
of a month.
I'm surprised he's kind of
Weeks.
kept his distance more with the caucus. I mean, he seems like he's at least cool with us, you know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's also
He's an anarchist, I guess.
He's a hardcore
Yeah.
anarchist. Like he doesn't even like the adjectives in front of anarchist.
So no anarcho-capitalist, no anarcho-communist,
No.
primitivist, taco.
No, he talks about it in interviews how he just wants to be recognized as a pure anarchist, no labels, no in front of it. If I'm not mistaken, he talked about saying he thought it was like kind of silly and stupid that people do all that, and like anarchy is what it is.
Right. Which makes sense.
That's why we
That's
got to
what I
have Jose on in the future, because if we can't get Michael Malice on because we aren't that big, we could at least get Jose.
Damn, what you trying to say about Jose, man?
No, I'm cool with the Tower Power Hour, guys. I'm just saying, we're getting Michael Malice for Josh Smith, remember?
Yeah, we got to get that court order first.
Okay,
Where's
what
Rob at?
judges?
Is he a lawyer yet?
I don't
And
know.
where is Rob tonight?
I don't know, but Judge Jim Gray ran for president last time around. Maybe we can get Jim Gray to help us out.
Dude, that actually be... Oh, we lost Rich. That'd actually be pretty funny if we got Judge Jim Gray to get a court order for Michael Malice to go on Josh's show. Just make a fake court order,
Honestly, I mean, we have Photoshop. I mean,
Yeah,
I
why
doubt
not?
Josh is going to watch our show.
Yeah, he's not even paying attention. He's gonna find out afterwards and be really pissed, but that's on him. He should have done his research.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that would be pretty funny.
Our public scheming.
All right. Is the guest okay? Did
Yes.
she make it in?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. It's a struggle, man, trying to like have people over for holidays and claw back what like little bit of my personality remains from the LP. Like it's all been like just destroyed or I guess assimilated. So I had people over for Thanksgiving and I still have a guest over. I'm like, oh, I'm doing the thing that normal people do. Very nice.
So tell us more about what you guys are doing out with the Cali LP and Los Angeles and all that, because I always hear so much good things about what you guys are doing. I see you on social media posting all kinds of pictures and videos. Makes me kind of jealous out here in Florida sometimes. So I just want to hear more about what you guys are doing and some of the things you're working on currently.
I would say that we're working very diligently on trying to turn California into Florida. We don't have the alligator and the humidity yet, but never say never. We are working in LA right now on trying to repeal Los Angeles vaccine passport laws. So it's the strictest in the country. You have to show proof of vaccination or have an exemption to go into any indoor business in the city of Los Angeles, with the exception of churches, drugstores, and grocery stores. That's it.
Jesus.
That's it. Yep. So you may not go to work. You may not go. I think they just carved out an exemption for malls. So it's interesting. I filed this paperwork. And what we did leading up to this, by the way, is back in July, LA City Council announced that they were toying with the idea of passing a vaccine passport law. They were already writing it. And in August, they proposed an ordinance. And so we went after them at LA City Council's public comment very aggressively. And the way to use public comment is to not go on and just complain about freedom and liberty and my rights. No, what you do is you go on and you say, hi, my name is Angela McArdle, whatever your name is. I'm with the Libertarian Party of wherever. Our website is thus. We oppose this and we will be fighting back in XYZ ways. If you would like to get active with us, contact us here. And that was incredibly helpful. We had, usually I get like 20 to 30 emails and calls per day after we do public comment. And we just kept hammering it day after day after day. 3 city council meetings a week. There'd be 2 to 3 of us speaking every day. People got very familiar with us. We started getting mentions in the LA Times. I started having reporters call me all the time. Lots of people have reached out. Green Party Republicans, blue collar union workers, everybody's united around this. So before we filed the ordinance, I built a guillotine and I hauled that out in front of LA City Hall. That was fun. That got us some press. And then I just drafted the initiative a few weeks ago, turned it in, and I've been going back and forth with the city. We've got it translated into 7 languages, so 8 languages total. So everybody wants to scream racism. I don't know why people think that opposing vaccine mandates is racist, but that's something I hear. So they're wrong. We're doing
it's not just a meme.
Board. It's the most insane thing. They just say that this is a white nationalist thing. 67% of LA's Black population is unvaccinated, and they're basically going to be segregated and not allowed to eat in restaurants or go shopping. But it's
you're the
insane.
Racist. Yeah,
very white nationalist of you.
Yeah. So
those
that's
Nazis.
what we're up to. Yeah. So right now they're reviewing my translations. I turned in my final drafts on Tuesday. So I'm hoping I hear back from them like Monday or Tuesday of next week and we can get going on it. And then we just, the way that it works out here is you get an initiative and then you get enough signatures on your petition, you turn it in. And as long as you qualify, you go to a special election and then it forces the city to vote on it. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But anybody who's interested, you can check it out at medicalfreedomla.com. As soon as it's approved, we will be posting PDFs of the initiative, which if you live in the city of Los Angeles, you can download, sign, and physically turn in.
Yeah, and I really root for you guys with everything going on down there, but part of me, like, I'm not in California, so I don't know what the culture's like out there to some degree too, but like I see everything going on politically.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, you can run a glass of water with a D on it and you're going to win.
Yeah, it is like that. It's really hideous. Well, okay, so it's like that in LA. It's like that in LA. It's like that in San Francisco and the Bay Area, but it's not like that everywhere in California. And the first time I drove through rural, like Northern California on my way to some other event, like it kind of blew my mind. I was like, there's people walking around with cowboy hats, and it's just like, feels like middle America. This is weird. It's because even though I don't have the same political beliefs, like as someone who's mostly grown up just in the city and the LA suburbs, like I don't know what the hell's going on in the rest of the state. And thankfully I was able to learn, but most of the people who live in urban areas, they don't know and they don't care. So they just control the rest of the state and just sort of terrorize everybody who lives a different lifestyle. It's unfortunate.
So that's interesting. Well, then my follow-up question to that is kind of related, where it's like, what about Jefferson? What's your opinion on that little, state that wants to leave and become its own thing?
Oh, I think the state of Jefferson is a really cool thing. So right now the infrastructure is still there, but it's been kind of abandoned. So there are a couple of California Mises Caucus organizers who are interested in bringing it back to life, but we got a lot on our plates now. So we'll see what happens. My hope is that someone can spearhead that project after Reno and focus enough attention on it that we can get it back off the ground. Because right now it's just sort of like scraps left over from some Republicans and some Cal exit people. And not all Cal exit people are Republicans or Democrats. That's an interesting beast. That's the secession movement for California.
So what's that like?
It's disorganized. It's sort of a hot mess. It's like a mix of Republicans and a mix of kind of green Democrats who think that California is powerful enough to secede and be its own state. They're correct. It is. We're the 11th largest economy in the world. California is for now, California is still an economic powerhouse. Now, businesses are leaving rapidly, and so are people moving out. And, Californians will claim that doesn't matter because there's a lot of people moving in. But the people moving in are starving artists and wannabe actors. And those people move out quickly too. So, it's a cycle. So yes, you're right. Tons of people move here and then they leave 3 years later and go back to Missouri when their failed dreams of being a rock star burn them too bad and they're crying into coffee because they're a barista. That's the life cycle of the average actor in California.
Tragic.
Yeah. What do you call an actor?
Tragic.
You see a waiter. That's what you call it.
Have you ever heard the Unabomber's Manifesto? Have you ever read it?
Of course. Have I ever heard of it? I've read it.
Have you? Okay.
We're getting taken off YouTube now.
And just like that, we're sucked.
And we're
No, I was just curious because I was listening to something specifically about people doing things like that and then becoming baristas and all that stuff. I was just listening to something about that today, but it's very interesting. I never paid attention to it much, but
it's got some interesting points. It's just one of those things where you're like, oh, that's interesting. And then it takes you to a scary conclusion. You're like, whoa. That might not have been the only option. So now we just bomb people. I don't know about that.
Right. Yeah, that definitely came to the wrong conclusion. I compare it to communism. Like communism has a lot of valid beefs. And then you're like, how did you arrive to this conclusion? That this is not the answer, obviously.
Yeah. I've been going down the rabbit hole lately and revisiting some communist literature. What was I reading earlier? Marcuse. Is that how you say it? Marcuse.
I'm not familiar, unfortunately.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Marcuse, Hegelianism. Like I've already read everything that Marx and Engels wrote, a bunch of their
Mhm.
letters. I actually think that I don't expect every libertarian to do this, but I think that there's actually a lot of value in reading that stuff and being able to understand their ideas so that you can refute them. Because like what's happened is a lot of people are upset because CRT is being taught in schools. And the opposition comes back and they say, no, it's not. You don't know what you're talking about. And the truth is you don't really know what you're talking about. It's sort of like obscenity where you're like, I know it when I see it. But you don't really know the nuts and bolts of what you're looking at. And I think that it is important to get educated on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so Marcuse is a good person to read the cliff notes of. He was a professor in the 60s and he pushed a lot of Marxist teaching, and people who do all kinds of theory, they all rely on his teachings, whether it's queer theory, which is not the same thing as gay acceptance. It's totally different. Marxist theory, dialectical thinking, all that kind of crap. Anyway, that's my rant on Marxism. It's bad. No.
There you go, Mitch. A prominent libertarian leader just stood up and said, no, socialism bad.
There we go.
Bad.
There we go.
Also, racism is mean and you shouldn't do it.
Thank you, Angela.
That's right. I'm brave. I'm brave and I'm saying the brave things.
There
Stunning
you
and
go.
brave, truly.
Stunning and brave.
That's
Very
right.
stunning.
It's amazing what qualifies as brave, and like they think that that's what's brave and edgy, and the out of line things to say. It's like, who doesn't think that nowadays?
Saying racism is bad is like in the 90s saying Friends is funny. Yeah, we know. Okay.
Yeah, what's your point?
Moving on. Yeah.
It's the no shit and response to everything. Like, yeah, okay, obviously racism is bad. Cancer sucks too. We're not going to go talking about cancer now, are we?
It's just bizarre. Yeah, but
the rain
but
also sucks.
It's a way for people to feel really good about themselves without doing anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically it, but I found it's really fun to take like these really woke people and get like quotes from Malcolm X and see how they respond to them.
Yeah,
that's gotten interesting.
But don't tell
them
who the quote was. Just tell them like, well, how do you feel about this quote? And then afterwards, tell them who gave them, like who made the quote.
That's
and
what
watch
I've been doing.
as the tick in their brain goes as they realize either A, I've just been set up and now I look stupid, or B, are you kidding me? This is a real thing. Like,
yep.
They're flatlined.
Nobody has any. I don't know. Racism is bad. Cancer is bad. AIDS is bad, but it's been around long enough that it's funny.
South Park established this.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's okay. I feel like cancer.
Cancer's been around forever. It's funny now. We can laugh about cancer.
Yeah, I feel like
you can make some jokes. I mean,
I've honestly always been of the philosophy that pretty much anything can be funny when presented in the proper light.
I agree. I have a really lowbrow sense of humor, and I'm not easily offended. So personally, I find cancer hilarious. And I say that, my baby brother, he had cancer when he was a baby. He had a kidney removed. It's probably good now since he's overweight, and so now he's one less pound he's got to worry about. But I don't know. Whatever, right? Laugh at it. It's okay to laugh.
It's one of those things that, like, you see in that context is funny.
Yeah,
if he was going under the knife tonight, maybe you could make that joke within family. But I mean, I was in a motorcycle accident and I was making jokes at my own expense, because I wanted to laugh. I was in massive amounts of pain. I wanted to laugh. People need to. I feel like nowadays people don't take the intent behind things.
Yeah,
they don't take that into consideration. All these are words, and either it's good or bad, and this is inappropriate, and that's. you know, I some of my best friends, you know, I'm not gonna say who they were or what race or whatever, but you know, we grew up calling each other racial slurs. They would call us racial, so that you know that they would make fun of, you know, my parents swimming here from whatever country, and you know, we'd make fun of them for whatever it was that you know, the stupid stereotypes. And that's how we just grew up, and people just don't do that nowadays. They don't realize that you could say fucked up things from a good place.
Yeah, it's gallows humor. Like, it's a good, people use comedy to like cope with uncomfortable situations. They
Right.
use it to navigate their emotions. None of us should have to explain any of this to these people, but since they're going to behave like children, I guess we're going to have to talk to them like children. You know, like, you use comedy as like a release, and also sometimes as a way to communicate ideas.
Right.
Duh, like, we all know this. So it's important to have a sense of humor, and no one wants to be around someone who's humorless. Like,
Oh
a
god.
humorless scold. Yeah, it's
I'm
tough.
not-
Like, you use humor like to cope, right? Like,
Mhm.
I have not had cancer. That is really hardcore. Chemo, that is really hardcore too, man. That's tough. Yeah, it's like, you use humor, use whatever you can to get through it. I've, you know, had to deal with Crohn's disease for 4 years of my life, and you know, I'm mostly better now, but I've been in and out of the hospital for a good 3.5 years of my life, and you have to joke about it, you know. Like, had this horrible surgery, and I didn't even understand what they were doing to me, and they stuck this plastic drain sticking out of me to drain me from infection. It was like a nightmare. It's so uncomfortable. Sometimes people are like, well, what's wrong with you? Or you're limping. Why are you so slow when you're walking? I'm like, well, I have a stick up my ass, literally. So lay off. And whatever, you know, like, people should just chill out. That's why I'm a slow walker and a fast talker.
Oh man. So is that how you're able to survive living in California? It's just good humor and smiles? Because it's got to be horrible out there.
It is horrible. So I don't wear a mask when I go in stores. Orange County, you don't have to. Just do your shopping in Orange County. But if you live in LA, you're supposed to wear a mask when you go in a store. They lifted the mask mandate and then they put it back. When they put it back, I was like, And no one does it, you know, no one notices. I mean, the liberals, the progressives, I should use the progressives, they definitely wear masks, but I don't. But sometimes if I'm unsure, I'll just pull a mask out of my purse and I'll just wave it at the germs. I'm like, get back, germs, in front of everyone. And even the people who are pissed, they're usually laughing. You know, you can kind of tell they're trying to stifle. And they'll be like, it's okay now, you can go. It's okay. I took care of it for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start carrying the mask just so that I could do that. I'm stealing.
Yeah, you just wave it like it's your talisman. Yeah.
The power of the mask compels you.
Yeah, exactly. I've made a cross with it before. It's good.
Rich, you need to do the same thing, but complete Matador outfit.
The germs.
That
would be amazing. If you did that, I have a really bad felt coronavirus costume that I made. I would charge you.
Oh man.
Maybe we could do something if you come back down to the Florida convention, or if not in Reno.
I'll bring it. I look more like a moldy pizza than a coronavirus, but it's close enough. It's a big gray circle with red dots on it.
That's fine. Just make sure you bring the piñata out to Reno.
Oh, I am. What was it?
What was it? The COVID pinata?
I've done that, but was it John Brennan?
Yeah, it was John Brennan. We're gonna stuff it with warheads.
Yes, my God. Yes. John Brennan. I'm gonna stuff it with warheads and some other stuff. It's gonna be fun. That's absolutely happening.
Oh man, we need multiple piñatas. It's gonna be a celebration.
We did a Fauci one at the 50th anniversary party of the Libertarian Party in Colorado. And that one was great. It was full of Chinese candy and bat rings.
Now, was that like a fundraiser event, or was it just like, hey, we're going to bust out a Fauci piñata?
It was just a party, and I had no part in planning it, but I did have a few moments of enhancing it. So I was like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
bringing a pinata, and so we smashed the pinata. I mean,
Fuck
there was, it was fun. There was hand sanitizer, Chinese candy. There was some other stuff in there too, like some regular pinata stuff. It was fun. Always got to have fun. I don't know about you guys, but like Florida is in much better state, but California, it's very easy to become like a black-pilled, hopeless, angry person. And I think that is incredibly counterproductive to basically any goal that you have in life, unless it's to commit suicide or, murder a bunch of people and turn the gun on yourself. Like, don't become black-pilled. So I try to make room for fun stuff, even though I like to say that I hate fun. I want everyone else to have fun. So I try to cheer everybody up, because you got to lift people's spirits if you want them to keep fighting against the state.
Definitely. And let me tell you, even here in Florida last year, extremely black pilled. Seeing
Yeah.
it happening everywhere else. And like I said, I'm originally from Jersey, so my original home state, just as bad, arguably, as California.
Yep.
So hearing the stories, my friends I got up there, friends in New York and whatnot, definitely extremely black pilled. But like you said, unless you have certain goals, you're not doing anybody any favors.
Correct.
I mean, even with everything going on, I was struggling with the black pill, but then I went back to my home state of Michigan, which is another one of those hard lockdown states. And I was pleasantly surprised at, it just occurred to me, Angela, with what you're talking about, with like when in the big cities, that's where it's more crazier. But once you go out to the rural areas,
Yep.
it's almost like you're in a whole different country.
Yep. It's different night and day.
Like same thing in that case. Like when I went out to Frankenmuth, where I got the wine, like that was the country.
Yeah.
Nobody was fucking wearing a mask.
They don't do that stuff. Yeah, there's a city in Central California. I can't remember which one it is. They declared themselves a constitutional republic and said they're not going to enforce anything.
Nice.
There's even.
Do they count as a free state?
Not quite yet, because it was a non-binding resolution, but it's a step in the right direction. There's a school board in Whittier, which is a suburb. It's part of LA County, but it's right outside of LA City. They wrote a letter. They convinced their school board, the board of a school, which is usually a disgusting, horrible entity. Their school board wrote a letter to Newsom saying that they don't want to enforce the mandates. I mean, like, this is like, there is hope. There is hope. And I just can't imagine operating mentally within the framework of thinking that there's no hope. So it doesn't matter how bad things are going to get. I am always going to find something good to aim myself at and to move in that direction. I just can't imagine operating any other way. Like, that's just not me. I'll never be a depressed black-pilled person, no matter how bad anything gets for me personally or politically.
So what's your take on kind of like the Dave Rubin and Joe Rogan types leaving and going to places like Florida and Texas? Because it seems like them, I don't know if black-pilled is the right way to put it, but they're definitely not optimistic for the future in the current form.
Well, I mean, they have to worry about their taxes, right? Like, I don't fault anyone for moving out of California. I think there are two obvious paths to take. One is to stay and fight, and the other one is to leave and go somewhere better. And there are crappy people who are leaving too. So unfortunately, they're taking their crap policies with them. So it kind of provides a balance when good people move out of the state too, because we kind of have to undo some of the damage that's done by sending all of our worst residents to your state. I can't believe, like, Nancy Pelosi bought a home in Florida. It's like, no.
Oh,
No.
yeah, I heard about that. And
Get out.
I saw a Facebook fact checker fact check that as fake, and I really, for the first time ever, I really hope these fact checkers are right.
Right.
Right?
Like, please, for the love of God, be right for once.
Yeah, no, I've had liberal friends. A lot of them have moved to Arizona and New Orleans, and some of them have gone to Ohio, which, not somewhere that I think of as super liberal. And plenty of them have gone to Austin, Texas, which is definitely, like a liberal place. But I don't fault Dave Rubin or Joe Rogan for moving. They have massive tax burdens to avoid. They may not enjoy LA living like I do, and they have more resources at their disposal. So they should do what is best for them and what's going to make their lives like more, enjoyable. Because it's not enjoyable living in LA. There's no joy in the city. It's all been sucked out. It's anger. People are mad that we weren't locked down long enough. They want stuff worse than the lockdowns. Like
Well,
they want stuff worse than vaccine mandates.
That's kind of why I brought up Ruben, and Rogan kind of falls more into that category of what you're just talking about of going to Texas. But with Ruben, it seemed like his turning point was after Larry Elder lost, and that's when we heard about him coming to Florida.
Yeah. And I get it. And a lot of people think that there was election fraud in California with the recall. And the reason they think that is because there was election fraud in California around the 2020 presidential race. And that's not just like some like random hearsay rumor, me being mad at the results. That's me talking to people who are, little old ladies who are in the Tea Party. There's a very active Tea Party chapter in Redlands, California that is very libertarian and liberty-minded. The only thing that is not libertarian is that some of them are closed borders and that some of them are too supportive of the police and military, in my opinion. But even then, most of them hate the GOP. They have been poll workers for like 30 years and they were shut out. They were not allowed in their regular like polling places where they would normally just be poll workers or they would vote count. They're not rabid new MAGA Republicans. They're people who have been doing sort of like this like volunteer public service for their entire adult lives. And they were not allowed in to count ballots, oversee the elections, volunteer in any capacity. And that's just one of many groups I've spoken to. There was definitely something sketch going on in California. So I understand that people are like, this place is hopeless. Maybe it is. But my concern is that, so goes California, so goes the nation. And so for some undetermined period of time, I feel that it's my duty to slug it out as best as I can and make the most progress I can. So I'm not bailing yet. Never say never, but I'm not bailing yet.
So where would you draw the line? Like, what would have to happen for you to say, you know what, if this happened tomorrow, I'm out?
Vaccine passports in Orange County would be one. Vaccine mandates, anything mandating that you have to get it. So right now, the way they're mandating it is you can't go in public. But if they start trying to require adults just to get it or kids to just get it, I'm going to have to leave like immediately. Like, I'll be house hunting and probably gone within 3 months. So those are some things.
Any places you've thought of if that hypothetical were to happen?
Oh, if I had to move, I'm a coastal elite. So probably, Florida or near Galveston, Corpus Christi, I want palm trees and trash. So I need to like go where there's the ocean and palm trees and mostly warm weather and piles of garbage. I'm okay with
it's Florida.
People too. Yeah. So
that's Florida for you.
Tampa, death metal capital of the United States.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Really?
is. Cannibal Corpse moved from New York to Tampa so that they could make it in the death metal scene. Morbid Angel is from there. There's a lot of death metal. Death, the band Death. I'm pretty sure
there's
Death
a
and
ton
Chuck
of
Schuldiner
metal
are from
bands
there.
from Florida, guys.
I mean, I was a
There's
punk
ton from,
guy,
like,
so
Central Florida.
I really like death metal. Technical progressive death metal is my jam.
you see, much like Tom Woods, this is a shocker to learn that you're a metalhead.
This is so weird. Yeah,
like, I just never would have thought it.
I'm hardcore into heavy metal. Yeah, I love heavy metal. Mostly thrash metal, technical progressive death metal, some power metal. Like I like the stuff that's more British invasion than the cheesy stuff. Yep, that's my jam.
So I know you said you're gonna have to leave us soon. You said you had about 45 minutes to an hour, so we're approaching that time, and we don't want to hold you up. You mind if we get a couple just quick, 3-4 questions in real quick, rapid fire?
Heck yeah, man, let's do it.
All right, so we're gonna throw a hypothetical at you. Okay, let's just say you're sitting in a Libertarian Party XCOM meeting, and you're voting whether or not to put a new affiliate in.
Okay.
Okay. And somebody brings up, hey, their bylaws just have this slight thing wrong with them. You know, you got to fix that before they become affiliated. Do you affiliate first and then tell them to go ahead and change their bylaws? Or do you tell them change their bylaws? Let's take the wind out of your sail. Change your bylaws first and then we'll affiliate you.
It's going to really depend on the circumstance. But if there is any pressure at all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest as chair that we should all take 48 to 72 hours to understand exactly what's going on. And we should reconvene with this exact same topic. I don't like seeing the LNC or any other executive committee roll into a meeting, not be familiar with the facts, and then make a decision. That's that heavy. If it's affiliation or disaffiliation, like we got to be time sensitive, but also like I just think it's incredibly disrespectful if someone compiles a bunch of evidence or does a lot of hard work and the group that they're supposed to present it to has no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Okay. What would obviously we talked about you running for chair. If you were to become chair, what do you think are the most important issues currently that LP should focus on? You know, what's your first one or two things that you're gonna tackle?
All right, we're gonna change the messaging immediately. We're going to change the dynamic, the unhealthy relationship that we have had with the proponents of libertarianism immediately. We are going to make those people feel welcome, and we are going to elevate their message. The least we can be doing is retweeting and highlighting some really good messaging and important stuff that comes out of the Mises Institute. That is a bare minimum. Something that is also really important that gets grossly overlooked is the budget. We do not make very much money. And that is a damn shame. So we're going to improve the messaging. People are going to like us more. They're going to donate more. But we're also going to change a little bit. I'm not going to turn everything on its head because that's bad for an organization. But we are going to have to tweak pretty much everything a little bit. We're going to change the way that we do some of our fundraising. We're going to develop better relationships with our major donors. And we are going to develop more major donors so that we don't exhaust the major donors we have. Some of them are probably going to leave when we take over the party, and that is okay. We are not going to hate on them. We're not going to be nasty to them. We are going to give ourselves some time to prove ourselves to them. And if they like the results and appreciate hardworking, real libertarian ethic and the changes we put in the party, they're going to come back. So I'm not going to scare and fearmonger everyone over losing donors. And another major change we need to do is we really need to professionalize. People get so upset when we talk about taking over the party, and then you peek behind the curtain and you see there's so little to take over. This is not a professional organization. It's not. What project management software are we using? How are we tracking our goals? How are we tracking past ideas that people had that were really good, but we just didn't have the infrastructure or volunteers to implement them when the idea came up? Are we revisiting any of that? Are we doing micro donation campaigns? Are we studying other grassroots populism movements like the Obama campaign and like Ron Paul's campaign? Are we implementing good policies? That stuff's not happening. Don't kid me, I read all of those reports. Like, I'm not just going into this saying, oh, I'll take over the Twitter and then I'll be in charge. No. I read every one of those awful, tedious reports that the LNC puts out. And so we're going to be changing a lot of the way ways things work for the better. Believe it or not, I am going to be making things much more professional. How about demographics test studies? Do we even know who our target audience is? I don't think we do. Who's your target demographic? Like, any idea?
Not really.
It's okay. Yeah.
Libertarians.
Yeah. What does that mean? So
yeah, exactly.
Let's break that down. Let's figure that out. Let's do message testing to actually see what people like and don't like. You might find out that they don't actually want their inbox full of woke messaging, and that they care about things in addition to, gay pride and gay equality. Like, I'm very happy when gay people make advances. I'm also very happy when the Second Amendment makes advances. I'm also very happy when when some state lowers taxes. We can
But-
talk
but-
about those things.
But civil asset forfeiture really is the big problem.
Right. I mean, we could talk about civil asset forfeiture, but for crying out loud, like, let's actually poll people to see what they're upset about. You know what I found? I found that people actually don't like riots. I found that they don't like that.
Really?
What a
Yeah,
concept.
we could talk
Wow.
about that. Property rights.
So
Wow,
it's
who
almost
knew?
like our
Right.
platform, is relevant.
Right. I could rant about that for like an hour. Sorry.
Oh, by all means, go for it.
Property REITs. I'm reeing.
What advice would you give new members that are just starting off, getting involved in the party?
I have some advice. My first piece of advice is do not enter into any Facebook delegate group. Do not. Stay out of all of the Libertarian Party groups that are done at the national level. They will turn you off from libertarianism. And I promise that those people do not represent our values. My second piece of advice would be to let people know if you have a real world skill that can help the party. And if you don't have any skills, it's never too late to learn. You can learn basic copywriting so that you can write a decent email. You can learn very basic graphic design so you could put together graphics for like social media events or a newsletter. You're not trying to save the world. You're just trying not to embarrass yourself, right? Those are some really good things that you can do as a beginner. And I would also say that depending on where you're at with libertarianism, be very gentle with other people who are joining. Some people join the party and they know everything about Rothbard and they've read all of his books. And some people join the party because they're like, well, I was mad about CRT in schools and I want lower taxes. And they're a little neoconish. And I would say just be very gracious with people and meet them where they're at. Don't rush anyone. Like if you're new and you're not totally on board with libertarianism yet, don't rush to a leadership position, but take a little bit of time to get to know people better and, make sure that this is the right fit for you.
Final question before we let you go. You coming to Florida again this year?
Pretty sure. February.
February
After-
25th through the 27th.
Yep. It's in my calendar, which is on AngelaMcArdle.com.
All right.
Calendar of events.
Well, thank you for coming on tonight and spending some time with us, telling us about what you're doing and where you're going. I look forward to seeing you as well as I'm sure all the rest of these guys do when you come to Florida. And any final plugs you'd like to make before you head on out for the night?
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on. If people want to read about my adventures, get any of the resources that I put out every few months, and read the speeches that I give at conventions and other events, you can support me at patreon.com/Angela McArdle. That's where I post all the good stuff. And once I get to $2,000 a month, I will be able to chair LP National full time. So that is a good reason to support it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you once again for coming on. Angela, look forward to seeing you in February and then look forward to seeing you again in May when you're finally chairman of the party.
Great. Thank you guys for having me on. Catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Take care.
Angela.
Have a great night.
Yeah, have a good night. All right. Well, since we're here, I'm just gonna break the ice and say fuck those delegate groups.
Yeah. Stay the fuck out of them delegates.
Yo,
things get fucking crazy.
I just want to say, some dude shared a picture of this shirt that I'm wearing right now and tried to bring shit to the Mises Caucus, and I just went in the comments and was like, yo, what the fuck, man? Give me credit. Don't give them credit for my work. I made this thing.
All the national LP pages on Facebook are trash. I constantly shit on the Cathedral Caucus.
That's a fun one.
I still didn't steal your fucking Twitter page, you fucking losers. Stop telling lies.
What's the deal with those guys?
What kind of grown-ass 31-year-old man who had an AOL account with his last name in there, you fucking herbs? You have the worst fucking evidence and you lie like fucking rugs.
I seriously, from what I understand about the Cathedral Caucus, where their joke comes from, it comes from a place of they don't understand where the philosophical, the way that thing is being framed. I don't know how else to put it. Like you're almost a little bit poetic philosophically trying to come to it. It's almost like comparing someone's fall from grace to Icarus. Like that's just kind of how I see it,
I think it's just a tongue-in-cheek like shot at us because when I started to get involved in like kind of discovered the Mises Caucus, that was a lot of the messaging they were using, that they were against the cathedral, that they were trying to topple the cathedral, that this the whole COVID regime is because we've capitulated to the cathedral, and we've all gone to pray to them. I thought it was a joke at first on Facebook. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be funny. They're gonna post all kinds of like parody shit of like the Mises Caucus, and I thought it was gonna be a big ass joke. And then I realized like, oh, these guys are actually serious, and they don't like. Oh, I'm gonna fuck with them now. Fuck y'all. Y'all ain't shit.
That's kind of how it happened with
You're
me.
never gonna be shit.
Is that how you became their number one fan, Josh?
Hell yeah! I just kept telling them, look, y'all ain't shit. You ain't never been shit. You ain't ever gonna be shit. This is your whole fucking lives. Is this little Facebook account? You get all of your fucking jollies off of this lame ass bullshit. Like, I can't wait to see y'all in the middle of March, and y'all know what that means. Haha! I'll see y'all.
Middle of March?
Reno. Or that's Reno, right?
No,
it's not Reno.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania, yeah. Fuck, I forgot Pennsylvania was in March.
And I am a registered member of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania, boys. And I will meet the season requirements by the time we get to convention. So I technically qualify as a delegate for their convention if I so choose to show up, which I plan to. Go home, visit some friends, see some family, hit the convention, vote on a few things, help move the party forward, all the good stuff in life.
Dude, so I promised my girlfriend that we were gonna go do something for my birthday in March. And I'm pretty sure she'll kill me if I tell her we're going to Pennsylvania. But I might have to go. I'm also a member. I became a member right after their last convention.
Yeah, a bunch of us all applied. I already said we're going to carpool together. It's going to be the Florida delegation of the Libertarian Party of Pennsylvania. We're just going to show up and do Florida man thing. Bro, it's going to be middle of March. We're going to be freezing. I'm talking board shorts, Hawaiian shirts, bucket hats, like the little weird ass, like white fucking chalk on your nose. Like, I want to be just obnoxious while I'm there. I want to move. I plan on moving like bylaw changes and shit just to fuck with them. Like, nothing dilatory either. Like, it's all germane. It's all gonna be germane shit that, like, if this were my state, I would want this over what I got right now. This is some bullshit. I'm going to make Pennsylvania, Florida.
Make Pennsylvania, Florida again.
I might just ask to, I might just get real wild and decide, hey, I just want to nix all of your bylaws, your constitution, all shit, and we're going to replace it with Florida. We're just going to replace LPF with LPPA. That's it. That's the only difference. We're going to turn
This is a completely different type of takeover than I imagined.
Oh, hell yeah. We're going to take Florida and put it into Pennsylvania.
Motion to make LPPA, LPF.
Covered by our territory. Here we are now taking over other states.
Oh shit!
I mean, if y'all didn't want to be taken over, y'all should have been so takeoverable. Sorry, bitches. I just moved for them to like be subordinate to the LPF. That could be that simple.
Oh man,
their delegates have to vote on it. If their delegation wants to be subordinate to Florida, then hey. They might just be like, hey, I'm gonna move there anyway. I already got a winter home down here. I'm like snowbirding half the year. You know what? That sounds about right. Pennsylvania sucked. Y'all ever been there?
I have.
I mean, just everything I saw from the last convention, it just seemed like such a fucking shit show there. That I was just like, I was absolutely dumbfounded. Like, I had one of these loser brigade fucking people tell me that they wanted to punch Michael Heiss or some shit. I was just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I get it, we don't agree, but like, what
Would
the
it do
hell?
anything?
No, he ain't gonna do fucking shit.
No, I didn't mean like he could punch him, but like would it actually do anything?
No,
Would
it
it be
wouldn't.
like,
It's because these
Yeah,
people have fucking Mises derangement syndrome. Or LPMC
imagine-
derangement syndrome.
could you imagine going to our convention, having somebody just walk up and like try and punch you? How bad that would go for them?
Bro,
Yeah.
I'd pay. I would pay to watch that happen in Florida. To
The
me,
last time somebody played
me.
that one with me, it ended tragically. The last time someone played that one with me, it ended tragically for them. I don't want to go into the details, but mm-mm.
I just remember this person.
Poppy.
I just remember this person telling me this shit, and all I could think was like, this is like the libertarian version of Trump derangement syndrome.
It is.
Indeed.
It is. Did you guys see the table they set up? I forgot what convention it was.
I think it was South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yep.
Yo, please bring that shit to Florida so I can laugh at all of y'all in y'all face.
Yes, Loser Brigade, you guys are officially invited to the Florida convention, February 25th through the 27th. Please bring the table. Please park it right across from the Mises table.
No, put it right next to us. Let's have fun with this.
I want to watch it, as you know what I mean. I want to like.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like,
you know what I mean?
We're
like,
gonna we can
across.
just. Hell
I mean,
yeah,
right
just
next to us
sandwich
works
them in
too.
between. We could sandwich them in between us and another table that we like. You know, just put Polk or like Broward next to them.
Broward. Let's do Broward.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a good way of going about it.
Yeah, that works. That works.
Table wars.
They would leave probably about. They'd set up Friday afternoon. They would leave by Saturday like mid-morning. They would between Mises and Broward. They would get so fucking sick of us.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like Cato was a better foe for us. Like,
definitely.
I don't think I ever told
Cato
that
was
story
never-
on this show. Cato at Yao
Look,
Revolution, someone said something about running as a libertarian, and their thing, I guess, someone came back to us and told us this story. Is the person from Cato? Oh, you're not running with the Mises Caucus, are you?
Y'all are some lame ass fucking losers.
Hey, at least the people at Cato have some sort of intelligence, even if they're bad at.
Well, that's
being
what I'm saying. Is they're
libertarian.
like the good villain. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
they're like Cathedral Caucus is like a lesser version of Team Rocket.
Oh, dude, they're not even, bro. Like,
Them motherfuckers are me yath, bro.
you guys are wrestling fans. They're the fucking Brooklyn Brawler, bro. Like they're not.
Yeah, I've said it a bunch
they're-
of times. Like,
Bro, they're not a
I'm Shawn
threat
Michaels.
like in
They're
any way,
Marty
shape, or
Jannetty. Who
form.
the fuck are you?
What was that?
I said I've been saying that for months now. Like, I'm Shawn Michaels. They're Marty Jannetty. Who the fuck are they to me? I don't give a shit about that. Everybody's like, Josh. Like,
You know,
look at this Josh guy liking the Cathedral Caucus stuff. He must be a mole. Look at Josh. He's a top fan of the Cathedral Caucus. Is this guy like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm the top fan. I'm the most obnoxious motherfucker on their goddamn inbox every morning. I don't care. I gotta know who's gotta be their admin. They must hate waking up and like hitting the notification button and just seeing Josh Holofka.
That's why they thought you're the one that hacked them.
That's absolutely because I fuck with them so. I knew it right away when they called me out on Twitter. I was like, "Y'all are really bringing this shit from Facebook onto Twitter. Like, these are two completely different spheres. Like, don't capitulate. Don't confuse one for the other.
Bro,
like,
that's
I get
definitely why they
nasty
thought it was
nasty on
you.
Twitter. Like, my family ain't on Twitter. I can get nasty with you there. I'll post my
in the
dick,
world
I
of
don't
all these
care.
caucuses, I gotta say, in some ways, I'm happy they exist.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Like, you need this stuff around, man. Like, my wife's coming out like, what the fuck are you even talking about right now? She's hearing like just me, so it makes sense. She's hearing the entire one side of the conversation. She doesn't love us enough to watch us live. She catches us like on the restream after.
Hey, so you guys catch
Divorce.
those stores in California? They had 100% off for Black Friday. No, nope.
I feel like this is a joke. I feel like this
I'm
is supposed to be
trying.
a
I'm waiting
joke
for a
and all-
punchline.
100%
like
off for Black Friday, bro. There was people rioting and like taking shit and running up like stealing shit over in Cali. You didn't guys?
Oh well, shit. I mean that's
Oh,
why I
that's
was saying
every
I wasn't
Black
waiting for Black Friday. I was just waiting for the Rittenhouse verdict.
Yeah, like this is like Black Friday ain't what it used to be though, man. Like remember like when you would see like you'd wake up at 6 a.m. and see like people beating each other senseless on the news for like a 33-inch TV.
Yeah, it's not
At
like
Walmart.
it's not as hot as it used to be.
No,
Nah,
it's
I
not
miss
like
that.
it used to. Yeah, I miss the savagery that came with Black Friday. Like you had to be like
Cyber Monday, man.
like yeah, you gotta just hope your fucking computer don't crash. Or the
I miss
server
seeing
for
people punch each other in the face over a fucking flat screen.
yeah, you can't beat like Walmart violence.
I mean, like I
Like,
always
people-
think back to that one dude who gave like that Lord of the Rings-esque speech before his workers. Like I want to be.
Oh,
I
the
want
guy
that guy
from
to be my
Target?
manager.
I didn't. I thought like back then I was like, man, that guy is like I was like, wow, he's so motivating. Like 5 years later in the retail game where I've worked at the mall the entire time, like that dude's a fucking shill. What a company fucking hoe. Like, all right, bud, you're making probably $22 an hour right now. Like back then, it was probably like $18.50 an hour. Like, come on, man, you're not that happy to be there. Like, and that was back when it was on Thanksgiving, bro. When you used to have to be in
fuck
there
all
like
that noise.
5 in the afternoon. Yeah, bro, 5 in the afternoon on Thanksgiving, dog. Like your family like is all forced to eat at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so your one ass can leave. So many years I did that, like 5, 6 years. Like, oh, Thanksgiving, got to be in at midnight, guys. Guys can't drink. Got to get done dinner soon. Got to leave.
I only went to like Black Friday maybe like once or twice, but it's just like a lot of the deals really were never that fantastic.
Now, dude, they did a study where like you could find like they found out that during the year you could get like just as good, if not better, deals.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that it just became like, oh, it's Black Friday, so you know you're gonna get the good deal on Black Friday. You know, it's one of those things that people just knew it to be true, but it really wasn't.
Yeah. You know why they call it Black Friday, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you do, Rich. I know you probably do.
I don't. Please enlighten me.
So the reason they call it Black Friday is because most businesses, especially back in the day, generally for their fiscal year would run in the red until today. And then usually today is where most companies or stores, whatever, would go into the black for the year. That's why they would call it Black Fridays, because finally you're going into making a profit for the year. I just call it bad business.
Yeah, all year you're fucking losing money, and then
that doesn't sound like a stable way to run a business.
No.
Nah.
Well then.
But yeah, little retail history for you there.
And knowing is half the battle, boys and girls.
The other 25% is blue razors. The other 25% is red lasers.
Hey, so do you guys think of Kamala Harris still having the worst
approval rating?
The worst approval rating ever?
I think it makes sense.
I mean, she was the worst president ever for like 2 hours.
we're comparing, like let's put this in context. We're comparing her to somebody, Dick Cheney, for example. He shot somebody in the face.
I mean, at least he never laughed. At least he never laughed like the Joker during inappropriate questions.
Bro, I'm pretty sure Dick Cheney could have done
that. Okay. I will give you two options here. This is a horrible. Either get shot in the face with birdshot from Dick Cheney, or at a loved one's funeral have Kamala Harris laughing.
Oof.
I'm getting shot in the face by Dick Cheney, 100%. No
Yeah.
questions asked. I don't even need to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot me in the face with birdshot, Dick. From the grave. I don't care.
Is he still? I thought he's still
Tell your
alive.
daughter
Is he?
Liz, come on over.
Is Cheney dead? I don't remember.
I don't think
Pretty
so.
sure he died. Didn't he? I'm almost 100% sure he died.
Sure,
like,
not
years
thinking of
back.
John McCain.
They're all old and crusty.
Okay, I'm looking
Republicans.
this up right now.
Yeah, now we gotta look.
Dick Cheney, former vice president. He is alive.
He didn't die yet.
No, not
That's
yet.
disappointing.
We'll be having a party
How
on
old
this
is
this program when he does. Don't worry.
Hey, Joey said she was the first woman president because an old white man allowed it.
Oh my god.
Oh, there is so much you can unpack from that statement. I'm not even going to go there for my own personal safety.
I don't want to get canceled, so I'm
would've
just gonna let that simmer.
I'm just still shocked Dick Cheney's alive. Like, that motherfucker's still kicking.
I mean, he was
John
living
McCain
without a
dead.
heart in his body.
That man is 100% a lizard person.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta say,
All
with
right.
the lizard people, if that turned out to be true, I would not be surprised.
Not at all.
Dude,
Not at all. I used to.
That's one, yeah.
The world's become so weird over this past year that honestly, that just that's less surprising than everything else. Would have been
Oh,
more
man.
surprising if you guys were just incompetent.
All right. Yeah. Nah. It wouldn't be that surprising either. They could be lizard people. They could be incompetent. It's probably a good little sprinkle of both on there, where it's like some of them are real humans, but they're just fucking incompetent and stupid and can't see the lizard people in front of them. The other ones are lizard people who just laughing at the incompetent humans who are just still running circles with them.
Well, let's say like the lizard people and the royal bloodline thing are kind of like both true to some degree. You would think the inbreeding would
different.
start. Well, you'd think the inbreeding would start kind of playing against them.
No, they lay eggs. It's okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
do
don't
the
think- I'm
do the
pretty sure lizards
reptilians
can
go by
inbreed.
the same like breeding genetics or whatever? Like,
Not the interdimensional ones.
Yeah, it's kind of like dogs. Like, dogs inbreed and they don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Pretty
dude.
sure
I had
lizards
a
do, too.
friend whose dog was inbred who would fucking lick cement. You'd just
That's
be
just
standing
dogs
there.
sometimes,
Like all
bro.
types of weird shit.
Like, I would
Alright.
literally look at that dog hanging out with me like, dude, your dog is inbred as shit. Like,
That's not cool.
Yeah, that dog
didn't
was
do
awesome.
Nothing to y'all.
that dog was awesome.
So, all right. So Angela brought up a good theme that I want to run with for a little bit for us. Conspiracy theories. What's your favorite and why? Mitch, go.
Favorite conspiracy theory?
Favorite conspiracy theory. What is it and why is it your favorite?
That is a
I wanna
hard
hear how
one because it
stupid it
depends on the
is.
time of day.
Fuck you. It's nighttime. Let's go.
Men in Black. I think that one's fucking crazy as shit. You see a
That the Men
UFO,
in
you
Black
see
is
some
real?
crazy shit. They knock on your door from some unknown government agency. Some stories have to do with them even not even appearing to be human. Like, I don't know. That shit is just, it makes for good story to tell around the campfire.
But you actually believe that the Men in Black are real.
I don't know. Like a lot of that
I want a conspiracy theory. You're willing to
that I
ride
believe
with
in.
yours. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why your favorite? This is this is
Favorite
my
one that
theory
I've
that's,
okay. I was thinking just like
this
favorite
is,
as in
I'm
crazy.
riding with you're not going to convince me this is not true. Like, I don't care how conspiracy theory it is. Like, I need the one that you if you had to die on a hill for a conspiracy theory, which one are you dying for? Mitch,
Deep State.
Connor, please.
Deep State.
Deep State.
Deep State.
Is that
But
even a
there's just a
conspiracy
few-
theory at this point?
Yeah, is that?
I mean, that's what I'm
Like,
trying to
is this
think.
just a
I'm
few
struggling to think
cabal?
of something. Like, give me a minute here, Rich. You go for something first.
I'll go if nobody's got one.
I'll
I'll go. It's easy for me.
I'll go with
Go, Rich.
Bigfoot.
I know.
Bigfoot?
Bigfoot?
Yeah.
We need to get Duke on here for that.
Bigfoot's so lame, bro. Really, Bigfoot? Why Bigfoot? Come on, you gotta let me know.
Dude, you can't convince me, like, you know, as much wilderness as there is out there, especially in the Pacific Northwest, like, you can't convince me there's not some shit out there we haven't found. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, maybe it's just one of those things that, like, you know, we don't want to accept. You know, humans have always been in a, like, you know, we've just defaulted to exploring and wanting to find shit. Like, that's always been ingrained in our DNA, you know? So maybe it's that, you know, I don't want to accept that the fact that we've already found everything there is to find. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What are you going with?
I actually have 3, but 2 of them are going to get honorary mention because I can only have 1. So honorary mention number 1 is that D.B. Cooper was actually a CIA agent plant to create more regulation more safety regulations in the airline industry. Honorable mention number 2 is Ted Cruz, Zodiac Killer. But my top number 1 conspiracy theory, the Jersey Devil is real.
The Jersey Devil, really?
Yeah, you never heard of the Jersey?
Yeah, I know of the
Mama
Jersey Devil.
Louise's
That just seems
13th
like
son?
such a bizarre one.
Dude, yeah, if you're from Jersey, it doesn't seem as bizarre.
It doesn't. And the reason it was my favorite isn't because it's like this is the one I will die on, because this is something that I used to fuck with people. When I was in the Army, we used to do training at Fort Dix. I'm from South Jersey, so I spent a lot of time on Fort Dix in high school when I was in. And I used to go out there and we would do night land navigation. So we're out in the middle of the woods, middle of the night. You don't even get a flashlight because it's all supposed to be in the dark. And before we would go out, there would always be that time where they'd wake you up like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, so you'd have before sunrise, or they'd wait after dinner until it got dark. And while we were waiting, usually after dinner, I'd be telling ghost stories. Like, y'all ever heard of the Jersey Devil? Oh, what? Y'all city kids never heard of the Jersey Devil? Let me tell y'all a story. And then after I get done my little 3-plot course in like 15 minutes, when it should take everybody 45 minutes, an hour, I would grab my poncho and go hide up in the trees at like different points and just fucking jump out and spook the shit out of other cadets. So you be sitting there and you're like, mind you, it's like 11, 12 at night. You're tired. You've been roaming through the woods all day, 40-pound rucksack on. You got your little M16, M4 slung across your back and shit. And you're just humping along and just, you have my goofy, scrawny ass come out of the tree at you at 2 in the morning. People firing off blanks, people screaming, cadre in the fucking talk laughing their dicks off because they know what I just did, and they're like, fucking Halafka.
Okay, I'm gonna go off of Josh's fucking structure of the way he presented that because I think this is the best way to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna say Men in Black, honorable mention. Honorable mention, because I'm willing to believe that the government has some fucking secret agency, or the aliens do it themselves, one of the two. Second one is Aliens.
Agent Man.
Secret Agent Man. Good song.
All right.
The next one I'm going with, because I'm seeing it in the chat, and I'm reminded of the fact that I knew about this story fucking years before it came out, because it was being reported by the anti-media, We Are Change, Free Thought Project. Fucking everyone was reporting on this shit back in 2013 before he killed himself, and that is that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. I remember when the shit happened with the Duke of York. Anyone remember that? When they were like the Duke of York? There was some shit that happened like back around like 2011, 2012, 2013 with Jeffrey Epstein, the Duke of York, and like these 3 sex slaves that they had.
Hey, hold up. I'll be right back.
Get them dogs.
So it's like,
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I remember reading about that a long time ago and thinking like, what the fuck's going on? And then it just kind of disappeared out of the news. and those were the outlets that kind of kept watching it. And then, like, you know, when the shit happened with Epstein, it was like, oh fuck, I remember hearing about this. Like, holy shit. Props to We Are Change. I remember them doing a good job with that shit. We should get Luke Krakowski. He's a fellow
if we
Polishman.
can, that would be awesome if we could get him on here.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
he's a fellow
I mean,
Pol.
we've been talking about some pretty interesting guests that could be down the pipeline. I don't want to get into the details on here live, but I'm excited for a few of them if we can.
I am too. I just thought of another conspiracy that we could die on the hill of. And I know this is a very controversial conspiracy, on par with saying that Bush did 9/11.
The birds aren't real, bro. I know the birds aren't real. The birds
Hulk
are.
Ho-
Even I teach my 3-year-old.
Yo, who's
Hulk
ever
son, the
seen
birds
a
aren't
baby
real.
pigeon?
Hulk Hogan is Mr. America.
No, bro. Come on, that ain't real.
I'm telling you.
No.
You
might want to believe that, but that ain't true, bro. Stop.
I think I've gone a little bit too far off the edge with this one.
Yeah, man. You're supposed to take the right pill one at a time. Don't chug the whole bottle.
Hey, hold up. I'm catching up in the chat. Leighton was talking about HARP. How do you guys feel about that one?
HARP?
What is
I don't
HARP
know much
again?
about it. Is that like the weather control thing?
Yeah, the weather control machine. Basically, it it'll put moisture up in the air and it starts raining, but like then it gets more devious than that.
Real. Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, I totally believe that one.
Yeah, bro. They're gonna figure out weather control in the next 25 to 30 years. It's a wrap.
Dude, fucking Top Gear. Who watches Top Gear? Fucking Jeremy Clarkson did a segment where he's like, yeah, because that machine right there, it releases fucking moisture into the air. And look, it was fucking clear out 2 seconds ago. Now it's a fucking cloud. Oh, look, it's fucking raining now. Like, it was perfectly clear out, and then it just started raining. He watched it, like, he showed it happen. They created rain. Granted, that's a lot easier. But to think that, the next logical explanation from there isn't, okay, how do we create a storm, and how do we create thunder and lightning, and you know what I mean? Like, that's the next logical place.
The Nazis, we know for a fact, did experiments where they tried to conquer gravity. We know a lot of crazy shit like that was done. So I would not put it past any one of our weird government agencies that we're not aware of to be experimenting with something like that.
Oh, bro, there's so many, there's gotta be so much shit that we're doing. I can't even, fathom to think about the shit that we can't even think about that the government's testing or experimenting with or actively working with right now. It just, like I said, I couldn't even think about it because it's just some of the shit probably would just, if we found out, be legitimately mind-blowing.
Dude, Operation Paperclip, that shit's been proven too. We fucking hired Nazi scientists, gave them fake identities, said, hey, guess what? You're no longer fucking Wolfgang von Wiener Schnitzel. You're fucking John fucking Smith. You're an American scientist now, and shut the fuck up until you learn to speak English like a good old American.
So, on that topic too, do you guys think Hitler made it to South America?
I doubt Hitler survived. I feel like somebody would have been like, hey, you're fucking Hitler.
I don't know, man. Change your identity enough. You heard about the one woman. There was this woman who had these mental problems who married this dude. I don't know why the fuck he married her, given the context of this story. But it's she eventually had this mental breakdown and killed herself in the driveway of his parents' place when they were separated. And turns out her identity wasn't actually her identity. It was an identity stolen from a girl who had died in a fire when she was 3. And apparently there's there's a series of books. You know how there's the anarchist cookbook or whatever, which is full of all the crazy shit. And there's many different versions of that. There's something called the Paper Trip, where there's 3 or 4 different volumes of that for different eras of different ways to basically create a new identity and create things and escape things. So it's like I knowing that exists and that some woman out there that no one knows who the fuck she was did that. Like I don't think it's out of the out of the realm of possibilities. But also with what Langan says there too, he's in Antarctica.
These are some interesting theories. I've never heard any of these. He made it to Antarctica.
You never knew that one?
He died in Minnesota at the age of 93. That's fucking specific. Damn, Hector.
There's one theory that he died in South America,
Argentina,
sometime in the 60s. I don't know if it was Argentina. It might not have been.
Argentina, Chile,
yeah,
Uruguay.
It was apparently they had to leave Argentina. I've gone down the rabbit hole with this shit, like with different like possibilities and different things, because it's like there's different ones where it's like, well, this Nazi guy was supposedly killed in Berlin, but then we're seeing he fucking purchased a hotel room in Argentina, like after the war.
Nazis fleeing to Argentina for sure. 100% believe that. Did Hitler make it? I don't know. I feel like somebody would have, like I said, I feel like somebody would have.
I mean, no one ratted on Dr. Mengele, and he was one of the most not like his experiments aside, you look at what he was like as a person, he was just an unpleasant human being, and no one ratted on him. Like, I'm honestly surprised that near the end, people weren't like, will someone fucking turn him into Mossad already? Like, look into this guy. Like, aside from being a fucked up scientist, he was just a horrible like, I would hate to have him as a house guest. So, like, part of me is like, how do you know that? But, like, also change your identity. Like, with, like, oh, no, I'm not Adolf Hitler. I'm Wolfgang von something. Yes, I was in the German military. Yeah.
No, they were, I don't know.
I don't know. That's just my thing. Like, there's been a lot of fucking stories.
You gotta on that same token, though, you're also talking about a man who was running one of the most powerful militaries of the world at the time, and one of the most powerful countries in the world at the time. You really mean to tell me they couldn't have gotten him fake paperwork, formulated a new identity? Like, the man was a master orator. He knew how to speak very passionately, and how he knew who his audience was. Like, for whatever you want to feel about Hitler, he was a very passionate, very strong speaker. That was how he was able to move the masses. So
yeah, it's the same. It's the same shit Fidel did. Fidel Castro. It's the same thing Obama did. Let's be real.
Are you saying communists and fascists are alike?
I'm saying they're the same fucking thing, actually. They're both socialists. Did you know that?
What? No, they're not socialists.
And one's just a communist socialist, but they're both socialists. I don't know if you know that. It's actually in the name for the Nazis. The Nazi Party wasn't just called the Nazi Party. It was called the National Socialist Workers Party. It's right in the name. It's socialist. They were socialists. If you're a Nazi, you're a socialist. If socialists don't want to be contorted with Nazis, they shouldn't be affiliated with Nazis. Don't get into Nazi shit, commies. Sorry. You don't want to be compared to Nazis? Don't be a socialist. Simple as that.
It's not the same. They weren't real socialists. They were only using it to get support.
Yeah, well, it was still in the name, socialism. And you still got to answer for it. You know what? You show me where the real socialism happened, boys and girls. I want to see it. Was it over there? Was it there? Is it in Cuba? I heard Cuba's doing all right.
Hey, so what y'all know about what y'all know about this Unit 731 that Cody's talking about?
What in the name of the Denver airport is he talking about?
I have no I haven't even heard of this before. You all need to
escape
Unit
from
731. I never heard of it either.
1 second, I can get this right.
So it looks like it was a movie.
What in the name of Room 101 from 1984 is he talking about? Oh, man. I don't know, there's a lot of shit.
So I found something on
Japanese
Wikipedia.
testing chemical unit for testing chemical warfare. Brutal shit.
Oh yeah, dude, the Japanese did like a lot of brutal shit during World War II and during their imperial era.
Oh hell yeah!
Like,
I think every country did a lot of brutal shit during their imperial era. That was kind of the point of imperialism. You do brutal shit to the fucking nations you conquer to let them know that you're in charge now.
I mean, I was told by my
Too
local...
much? Too soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all are some fucking petunias. Fuck y'all.
That was fucking
Grow up.
great, Josh.
History was savage. Don't be mad at history. That was just how it was. You
It's
should
true.
be offended. That was horrible shit that went on. It was tyrannical.
Bro,
the
it's
shit
true.
you need to learn from. Like, absolutely, as libertarians, you should learn from history. If you all look at history and you're offended, good. You should be. It was a fucking obnoxious and retarded. If you don't want to be different than the historical context that you're looking at, then I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. If you want to bring Nazis back and slavery back and the shit that you see, like burning witches, like, come on, for real? Is this really what you want to go back to? And this is where you want to, this is the culture you want to conserve, you fucking losers? Get out of here.
Dude, and this is the shit that makes me laugh. Like, motherfuckers are like, oh, I'm not gonna celebrate Thanksgiving, or it's not Columbus Day, it's Indigenous Peoples Day. Like, if you know a fucking thing about history, that was just the fucking way of the world back then. Guess what? Everybody used to fucking rape and pillage.
There's so much to that where it's just like the history is so fucking black, and it's not black and white. It's so goddamn gray. Like, it's just,
like,
for instance, you look at like Hernan Cortez, for example, you know, the conquistador, the guy who came in and wiped out the Aztecs with smallpox and won that war only because he, smallpox. And it was like, I always wonder, I was like, oh my God, he came, they worshipped him as a god, and he just came and conquered them and killed all of them. And it's like, yeah, well, if you show up to some distant land, no one speaks the language and the first thing to do is they greet you and have some ceremony where they cut out some dude's heart and eat it in front of you. How are you going to react? I'm just saying, like, it's not as simple as, like...
Yeah, there were no bad guys, there were no good guys back then. It was the fucking way of the world. There's not a single ancient civilization that accomplished anything that you can't look back at and find some fucking absolutely disgusting, barbaric, brutal practice that they used to partake in. And then this goes back to the 1800s, like before people started becoming civilized by today's standards.
So even besides civilized in all the conventional ways we know, I just want to point out the Romans had something known as a vomitorium. It is exactly what it sounds like.
I
Basically,
what does that sound like, dude? Like, are people
these Romans would go and
puke.
eat and drink, go vomit, and then go eat and drink again. Go vomit in the specific place known as the vomitorium.
So they had a bathroom just so you could puke, so that you could keep on eating and drinking.
Yes,
essentially.
Yeah. You're partying too hard, you puke, you go right back. You're like, yeah, I'm good, guys. I just went to
Rome,
the
baby.
vomitorium.
Yeah, I respect it.
Roma!
Langdon's telling me that's fake news, to which I'm going to be very mad at a past drama teacher I had, if that's true.
Hey, regardless, I respect it. They should have had him if they didn't.
Look,
if it wasn't, that's
way,
some savagery I can get behind.
They had baller-ass orgies. Who cares about vomitoriums? Y'all were getting your dick wet on the regular in Rome. Like,
maybe the vomitorium was another part of that.
Hey, y'all ever watch Caligula?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Let them hate.
I've seen it.
Bro, like, I barely remember anything about that movie, but I do remember like 5 minutes in, they're going like tier by tier of all the fucking depravity going on. And there's some chick who has like some like bicycle that she's pedaling, and it's just like just smacking the
God, that movie. What's weird is that's no longer the most disgusting film.
Yeah.
Like, in the age of the internet, I
what?
shouldn't be surprised, but like.
But on a serious note, like the historical Caligula, was a very underrated leader. Like a lot of the things that like, you see historians talk about, like if you look at it from a different viewpoint, a lot of it was just like a lot of like, for lack of better words, him just kind of flexing on people like, oh, you think I'm a shit leader? Like one of his generals, he made him, he told the general that he made his horse one of his councilmen and made the general salute his horse as a result. And like it wasn't because he actually was crazy and believed his horse was counseling him and advising him. No, he wanted to embarrass the general in front of everybody and show the rest of his councilmen, look, if you fuck with me, I'll make you salute a horse. Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to embarrass yourself by having to subject yourself to the lowliness of saluting a horse, of being subjugated to being like below a horse?
I think it was a senator, if I'm not mistaken, not a horse.
Indeed, it was.
Which that is, I know that's one of the greatest stories.
I've been drinking tonight. I'm sorry.
I'm a nerd for Rome, so that's the
you
only reason why I know that.
You know what's the other thing, just to put everything in context, but the other thing, like these motherfuckers that just don't know history. You know, I had somebody tell me in the past year that I told them, like, do you know any history? Because, you know, we're watching it repeat itself right now with, you know, the COVID regime and lockdowns and all that shit. And this motherfucker said, we've never had anything like COVID before, so history doesn't matter right now. Bro!
Never had a pandemic?
Bro, like, no, not even that, but government response. Like, I'm specifically talking about government response here, asshole. And this motherfucker was like, well, we've never had anything like COVID before, so, you know, the history can't help you here or something. I was like, how are fucking people so dense?
A lot of people just take the blue pill, dude. No other way to put it.
Yeah. I got my TV. I got my sports balls. I got my video games. I got my internet. I got my social media where everybody's patting me on the back of my echo chamber, telling me I'm doing a good job wearing my mask. I got my backs. Pat me on the ass. Good job on getting the shot in your booty hole. That's the reality. Bro, no, that's the reality, dog. Social media.
I got my anal swab and they told me I'm negative.
Yeah, like everybody thinks that they're important, that they're somebody special. Like social media has made it where you post on there and you get a bunch of likes and shit. Like I went from a year ago, like if I got 10 notifications on my phone in a day, that was like, holy shit, I'm popular today. Now it's like, can you go to fuck away and leave me alone? I just want to go to work. Like, could I take a poop in peace? Jesus Christ.
Man.
Like that's the reality, though. People want to feel special. People think that their opinion matters, and this is where we're at. They want to, the government's gone, hey, if you get the shot, you're a good person. If you wear the mask, you're a good person. Those that don't do all that, they're bad people, and you should let them know they're bad people.
Yeah. No, you're giving people the fucking a sense of grandeur. That's all it is.
I've always thought it was kind of this thing where they're telling people to be the safety patrol that they never got to be back in elementary school.
Yeah. Same thing. Dude,
like,
fucking South Park. Dude, I swear, South Park fucking, they're the new Simpsons. They predict a lot of shit. Not directly, because they predicted other shit more directly. But they kind of predicted this also. They had an episode where everybody became a Yelp reviewer. And at the end of the episode, everybody, they had this meeting where all the Yelp reviewers would come out, and everybody thought that the meeting was about them. Everybody thought that they were going to be the top Yelp reviewer and, the loyal subject of Yelp review followers, but that they were the main Yelp reviewer.
Real quickly,
this is exactly the same thing.
I've noticed that exact same ending. I know exactly what episode you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That exact same thing plays out with a lot of libertarians, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, it seems like a lot of libertarian personalities that I watch, that exact same Yelp reviewer thing is going on.
Yeah.
Or even just people who run Facebook pages. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I hate to say it because, like, it's something we touched on earlier. People get stuck in their own echo chamber. And even people that have, I'll say that they have brought that are good libertarians and have brought some actual value to the table. I got into it. I'm not going to name names here because I don't want to, throw any shots at anybody. I'll tell you later if you're really curious. But I got into it with somebody because they said something about, I'm going to be here in New York doing this. And I just commented and I'm like, people need to get out of New York, sorry, but I'm not supporting this. This motherfucker got mad. Like, how dare I, me, a nobody, challenge him? Like that was the tone of the conversation. That at least the gist that I got from it was, how dare I challenge him? That, do I like? I'm surprised that he didn't say, "Do you know who I am?" You know what I mean? And it was somebody that previous to that, I've listened to them on a bunch of other podcasts. Nothing but respect for them.
Is it a big name?
Huh?
Is it a big name?
Oh, you'll know who it is.
Oh man, now this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you later. You'll know who it is.
You were so telling me about this later.
Yeah,
we could do that thing that all these other podcasters do, where they talk about doing something off when the camera isn't rolling.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Oh man.
Yeah,
no,
dude, like people need to, and it goes to something. I think it was Cody that said it earlier. These motherfuckers, they're big fish in a small pond, and they think that they're, I don't know, they think that they're more important than they are. We need to realize, like, even the most important libertarian in the world, outside of Ron Paul, in the grand scheme of things, you're really not, you're really not somebody yet. We're absolutely still a very small fucking pond, and we need to realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then we get, the losertarians of the world, that this is their whole lives and they're never going to peak any higher than this. So they got to cling to this desperately.
Oh, yeah. And those are the worst ones because they're nobody in a sea of fucking nobodies. You know what I mean?
And it's a big ocean. Like, people don't realize, like, for as much as we talk about how small the Libertarian parties go, we're a third party, we're the third largest party, we're not that big. Like, there's a lot of people. Like, it's just, unfortunately, there's been like a core of, a few hundred that a lot of them suck sometimes.
I mean, honest to God, this is just my thought. Could you imagine if we got all the fucking best Mises Caucus people here in Florida and just made this state our own?
Don't talk about that too much, bro. They'll think you're trying to take over.
Oh, what? We're afraid we're gonna take over some shit. Like,
you mean I could retire to the Rules Committee? What? I could retire off the EC and go to Rules Committee and just make my nest there finally? You're kidding me. That would be great.
Leighton, you're definitely invited, homie.
Hell yeah. Everybody come on down.
Everybody's invited to Florida.
No, like, for real, though. Like fucking Larry Sharp and all these other people have talked about this idea. The Free State Project has tried to do this fucking idea. We've been talking about, like, all this shit with Florida. Like, can you imagine if the Florida party is already one of the biggest parts of the Libertarian Party in general? Can you imagine if we just got all these people to come to Florida and actually invest in the LP?
Dude, it would be big.
Like I said, I wouldn't. Somebody else could do vice chair. I could go to Rules Committee. Like, I just see,
like, honestly, I'd be more than happy to step down for somebody else to take over that bullshit. Bring
on the takeover.
No, and that's not to say, like, I don't, like, I really do. Like, it's an honor to get to serve, like, the members of Florida and to have the type of, responsibility that I do in this party. Like, it really is. It's just an honor, and it's a privilege to be able to do what I'm doing and to be in the position I'm in.
No,
at
absolutely.
the same time, what I kind of mean by that is I'd like to see it be more competitive. I'd like to see people where it's not a 2-person race or an uncontested race like a lot of ours were last year at our convention. I'd like to see 3, 4, 6 people stepping up to want to run for these positions where there's they see a value in, being there, and they really do feel that, hey, I have interesting ideas and, things I can bring to the table that I feel are worthwhile. And, I feel so passionately and strongly about them that I'm willing to step up and take the risk of being exposed by putting myself out there in a public position like this. I'd like to see more people be more involved. At the same time, like, you can take that horse to water, but, we've learned this, me as a state organizers, you can't force that horse to drink.
I mean, that's so goddamn true, and that's the problem. But, it is what it is, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Not a problem, an issue.
Yes, that's a good way of phrasing it, Mr. Vice Chair.
It's not a problem, it's an issue, and it's an issue that we can overcome. And the
Hey,
issue... go ahead.
I was going to say pump the brakes. He's not vice chair here. Like, we are not representing the EC in any way, shape, or form right now.
No, I'm just joking.
No, but
Did I just derail this?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't remember where I was going.
I was just joking about that.
It's not a problem. It's an issue.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
It's not a problem. It's an issue. It's, it's how do you show people that what we're doing here is going to give them a return? Because you're investing your time. This is an all volunteer organization. This isn't like the GOP. We're not the Democrats. None of us are getting paid to do this. We're not taking a salary to come out here and travel and conduct business and make decisions and hold these responsibilities. We're doing this because purely for the love of the game, because for one reason or another, we all felt that this was valuable to our time and our efforts. That's why I'm here. That's why Rich is here. That's why Mitch is doing what he's doing in, his capacity. We're all here because we found this to be valuable, and that we feel that investing our time and effort, and in a lot of cases, our own money, that we're going to get something back out of it, hopefully greater than what we invested, because you don't invest to get back the same amount. You invest to get a return on that. So, I mean,
it's something I've said before on this show, and I'll fucking say it again. I shouldn't be the guy doing this. Like you said, there should be more competition. There should be smarter people doing this, and don't get me wrong when I said it earlier, like, oh, nobody wants to be doing, I kind of say, say that tongue in cheek. But like you said, we're volunteers. We're volunteering our time. We're volunteering our own money. I'm paying for gas to go across the fucking state to events and whatnot. And, in all reality, this is a burden. My girlfriend fucking hates it. She hates when I disappear for an entire weekend because we're going to, fucking Canifest, or whatever. Granted, that shit was fun. I'll do that.
She could have come along, man. Like that, that would have been.
She had to work.
It's a couples event.
And here's the thing, and that's the challenge, man. People have family, people have jobs, people have lives. Like, I'm blessed. Like, I think it was, our state's treasurer who was saying it in, a private chat that, big ups to Josh. I don't think that there's been a major event that the LPF has been a part of that he hasn't shown up to, no matter where it was in the state. Like, I've driven to Tallahassee from Broward County. I've gone up to Brevard County, Orlando, Tampa, like wherever the event is. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Not everybody's that passionate. At the same time, is where I'm going.
Yeah, some
with
people
all
got a
of this.
problem driving to Broward for a holiday party.
That's tragic for that person. And if that person's watching, I got a free ticket for you. You just have to reach out to me by whatever means of communication you want.
You bastards!
You can be my personal guest. Come on down. Come see my county. If you're watching, you know who you are. Don't worry. I know you know who you are. Reach out. Just slide in my DMs, bud. I know you're watching. Don't lie. Digressing though, but this is the reality, is we have to convince people that, hey, this is something valuable for your time. And it becomes a question of, hey, When the why is understood, the how is simple. And what I mean by that is when you get people to understand why it's important that you're doing what you're doing, then how they find the time or the ability to do it is going to be easy. They're just going to figure it out.
Right.
And, this is where we as Mises Caucus members need to do a better job of when we say messaging and bold messaging is when we see people bitching about this is why this, that, and the third is why I don't get involved with the party. This is why the party sucks, blah, blah. Okay, well, what are you doing about it? For me, I stepped up and ran for vice chair so I could have a bigger say in what the hell my state was doing. If I didn't like the messaging in my state, shit, now I got a say in the matter. I don't like the way my state's conducting business. I have a say in the matter. I have a literal voice and vote in every matter that my state affiliate now does.
Dude,
So
that's
now,
what I'm doing here.
if I don't like something, the reality is now the only person I have to blame is myself. If something passes, if something moves, if we spend money in a bad place, I got to look in the mirror and go, I did a piss poor job because either I was the one who created that situation or I voted to the affirmative on it. And now I got to be like, I got to take the accountability, which, hey, I've made some mistakes and I've taken accountability for them as the vice chair so far. And you know what? If it fails, if something I went to move or something that I didn't want to pass passes or doesn't pass, I got to look in the mirror. I did a bad job of campaigning on that issue. Either I didn't do enough to convince people it was worth voting yes on, or I didn't convince people enough that this was not worth our time to begin with. So you know what? If you don't like what you're seeing in the LP, join. If you don't like what you're seeing in your state affiliate, join. Your county affiliate, join. Get yourself involved. Go to your county meetings. Become an executive committee member. When it comes time for your state party, if you're really that passionate, run for a goddamn party position. Run for regional representative. Run for a party officer. Run for whatever the hell it is in your state that your state or your county does. Stop sitting on the sidelines bitching and having that that bitch ass mentality about things. Get involved. This is part of what everybody joined the Mises Caucus for. Y'all love this takeover messaging. You want to take over the party. Hey, guess what? Somebody's got to actually be there to take it over. You can't wait on somebody else to do it for you.
Hey, and this goes not just to Mises Caucus members. This goes to everybody. Take human action isn't just a cute fucking tagline or motto. We're here to take fucking action. That's what we're here to do.
Cathedral Caucus. We're talking to you. Loser Brigade. We're talking to you.
Yeah, fucking do something.
They're not one and the same.
Prove us wrong.
Losers.
Prove us fucking wrong.
Yeah. Organize better. Go out. Go recruit people. Really lay down a platform that you feel people can get behind and then campaign on that platform. Go out and recruit on that platform. That's what we're doing here. People want to come to us because they're like, man, you guys have a great message. And then they meet us in person like, wow, you guys aren't those weird, awkward social losers we've seen in the LP before. You guys are actually kind of cool. Like you guys can carry a conversation for more than 5 minutes without going into weird stuff. You can interpret that however you want.
Hey, you want to hear some? You want to hear some wild shit? Last year, if you would have asked me, hey, name 4 prominent libertarians, I would have been like Joe Jorgensen, Spike Cohen, Gary Johnson, and Bill Weld. Just last year, bro.
Oof.
Like I had no clue what the fuck was going on with the party.
Bill Weld, really?
Dude, I had no clue what the fuck was going on with the party.
I'm going to assume you only said that just because you had no clue and that was a name that you knew.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
all I knew was exactly.
Okay.
I didn't know any of Bill Weld's history or anything.
A year ago?
I mean, well, at this point, not so much. A year and a half ago. Let's say when COVID started.
No, because I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, if you would have asked me 4 years ago, who would you consider prominent libertarians just off the top of your head? I probably would have gone Todd Hager-Payton, Vermin Supreme.
Oh,
probably
Vermin Supreme.
Gary.
Vermin Supreme, really?
I knew who Vermin Supreme was. I knew who Gary Johnson was, and that was about it. 4 years ago.
Todd, that was the thing. I have been following Todd back when he was still in the Republican, like he was a Republican Liberty guy. Like I've been following Todd for years. Like I didn't realize who Todd was until I realized who Todd was. I was like, holy shit! I've been following this dude since like the late 2000s. Like it's crazy to think.
You
Like
talking
I'm
about
working, like,
Hagopian?
yeah, like
Yeah.
like it's crazy to think about. Like holy shit, now I'm working on like the same objectives this guy is. You know, Vermin Supreme, Gary Johnson, and Larry Sharp. You know, I probably wouldn't even get added Gary Johnson or Vermin in there. I probably would have put Alex. It probably would have been Alex Merced, Gary Johnson, you know, Vermin Supreme, and whatchamacallit. I just said his name. I don't know why I'm forgetting it all of a sudden.
Todd Hagopian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just like holy, like, you know, you look back on it like, okay, like, yeah, these are all prominent people, but like, I didn't know who Jeff Dice was a year and a half ago.
Right.
If you would have,
Exactly.
if you would have
That's
brought,
my point.
yeah, like if you would have brought up Lou Rockwell, like, yeah, I heard the name, but like, I don't really know Lou Rockwell, like, you know, his stuff like that. Like, I don't know his content. I haven't read him like
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's
Right,
the thing is the Libertarian
What-
Party is the
what's
first
his
thing.
beef with fucking Mighty Ducks?
What about the Mighty Ducks? Huh?
He's got a beef with the Mighty Ducks movies.
Lou Rockwell?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard about
I-
this.
I
What's
do
the
too,
story?
man.
What's the story? I got beef with movies too, but not those. What's up with those? I don't have a problem
I think
with
it was the
those.
second movie because they added like Kenan Thompson in there, and it was just like, oh,
Well, that-
and like the girls and stuff, like, oh, why are you like trying to like? It was like he would bitch about like how like he ruined the movie by like diversifying it and adding like more women and like, you know, racial diversity, and it was just kind of like it doesn't make any sense. Like you're at the world, like you're supposed
Yes,
to.
like
You can make that argument about a lot of movies, but you know, like,
Right.
that's
I'll go even further down the rabbit hole. You're supposed to be emulating the World Junior Classics under 16s tournament, and you have a bunch of kids that all came from one specific like midget hockey team. Like you should be pulling kids from like the United States like developmental team, from like junior, like major junior teams in Canada. Like you pulled your entire team and you picked out like 8 random kids from other states. Like the fuck out of here. You didn't really, this isn't like you lost me right there off that movie. Lou Rockwell was right. Mighty Ducks 2 ain't shit.
Lou Rockwell definitely. Lou Rockwell didn't do anything wrong.
yeah. I'll
with that.
defend him on this.
Lou
hill.
did nothing wrong.
Lou did nothing wrong.
Somebody clip that for me. Lou Rockwell did nothing wrong. Put that on Twitter for yourselves. Lou Rockwell is a great man. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for disgustingly disrespecting that man on social media, in your personal lives, in private communications. Like, apologize to him, apologize to yourself for how stupid you made yourself look, and then go back and consider maybe like going to the Green Party or just MPA. I don't know. Like, don't tell me Lou Rockwell isn't important to the libertarian like philosophy and movement. I'm sorry.
Oh man, yeah, a lot of those Mises Institute he's with the Mises Institute, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he's the chairman of the Mises Institute.
Yeah, I thought Jeff Dice was chairman.
Or he's somebody. He might have been
Yeah.
like the founder. I'm pretty sure he was one of the founders of the
Yeah, I'm
Mises
pretty sure he's
Institute.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's one of the founders.
I'm not sure what his official title and role is in the institute now, but I'm pretty sure he's like a founding father of the institute for sure.
Yeah, there he goes. Tim just corrected it. Said he created the Mises Institute. All right, boys, it's 11:04. Y'all jumping in the Discord?
Yeah, we can. We'll wrap up in the Discord. You guys got any plugs you want to throw out real quick before we end this shit?
Yeah, go follow me on Twitter, Mitch Connor JLo, and check out the Libertarian Frontier on TeePublic. I'm pretty sure TeePublic probably has some kind of Black Friday deal going on right now. Probably should have made sure before I went live. Oh well, next year.
Wop wop.
But I can tell you one deal I can give you, and that is if you go to Drip Delta 8 and put in code word Mitch at checkout and get 10% off.
Hey, go get your Delta 8 from Mitch, boys and girls. Rich, you got anything to plug?
Yeah, what's my Twitter? Maybe Richie Roma. Go follow me there. Shout out to Top Lobster. I'm pretty sure he taught me the hack on how to get around getting banned for saying stupid shit to people. So I haven't been banned yet on this one. So follow me at maybe Richie Roma.
Oh, he actually gave it out tonight, guys. All right. Follow me at HLAVKA. I'll spell it for you because nobody can figure it the fuck out. So HLAVKA, the number 4, Florida. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me on Facebook at my first and last name. Although, good luck finding me on Facebook after a certain amount of time. And if you're down in Florida, you're looking to make a trip down to Southeast Florida, December 11th, we're going to be hosting the LPF's holiday party. Tickets are on sale now on our website, so go to lpf.org. Come check it out. Let's get some of you guys down here. Come party out with us. Going to say it's going to be a special event, and we got VIP tickets that get you a special private luncheon with, right now, Mike Mahari, Clint Russell, and possibly more to come. So, like I said, lpf.org. Go for the link for the LPF holiday party, and I look forward to seeing everybody there on that Saturday. All right, guys. Another great night in the books. Thanks for coming out. One final round of drinks for everybody. Cheers, boys. Have a great night. Take care. We'll see y'all next week. Night.